Welcome, everyone. Today's story takes place in the cold, white, desolate landscape of Antarctica, and its title is so descriptive. The title is, I've been trapped in Antarctica for a month. So, where to begin? I work at an undisclosed research facility, roughly 10 kilometers south of the Ross Ice Shelf. A team of 5 other researchers and I were tasked with the job of retrieving ice cores from the shelf and dating the ice inside. The rest doesn't matter, as I need to get this up as soon as possible. I'm going to copy my logs of important activity from my arrival up until now. My name is Mike, and I've been trapped in Antarctica for a month. March 8, 2018. The crew and I have arrived at the undisclosed research facility. This one is much smaller than your average Antarctican research facility. There's only a barracks, common building, and a research wing. We settled into our respective rooms in the barracks. It's not a luxurious room, only has a desk, a bed, and a closet. It's gonna need a lot of work to make me feel at home for the next 7 months that I'm going to be here. We've all agreed to take the rest of the night off to get some sleep, and we're going to get to work in the morning. March 9th, 2018. We all had alarms set for 0700. We all showered and dressed to meet up in the common building to get our bearings. Simon and Todd were already inside the common building drinking coffee by the time I arrived. They've both been in this business for the last 20 years of their lives. They've been working together since 2006. Simon is your average-looking scientist, short, white hair, glasses, and very professional. Todd is a few years younger than Simon with a buzz cut and a short temper. Todd can be very eccentric, but he and Simon seem to work well together, so I don't hold it against him. I walked with Sarah and Janine to the Commons. Sarah had been working in Antarctica for 5 years, Janine for 2 years. However, they have never worked together. Sarah has long brown hair she keeps in a ponytail, and Janine had my attention since I arrived. She is a tantalizing redhead and very friendly. I know it's very unprofessional, but she is gorgeous. I came with my boss, Kate, who I am an intern for. She has been studying ice cores for all of her life. She put this crew together for this study. She's a strict brunette who only cares for her job. She showed up in the Commons shortly after I did. Kate took me on a tour of the research building while the other 4 talked in the Commons. She showed me how each of the instruments worked and what they did. I reminded her I was an intern, not a tourist, and that I knew what all of these things were used for and what they did. Upon returning to the group, they were getting their gear on to go out into the desert. Yes, Antarctica is a desert. Antarctica gets, on average, about 8 inches of precipitation a year. All deserts are not blistering hot. Anyway, we bundled up for the 10-kilometer journey in the negative 10 degrees Celsius weather. We gathered into our Ford E-Series Ice Challenger van and we were off. We surveyed the area where we would be coring for a few hours and then returned to the base. I should state that all 3 of the buildings are connected, which means we only have to go outside to retrieve the ice cores. March 10th, 2018. Today was our first day out in the field, so this entry will be short as I did not have my log out there. Nothing important to note today. Future logs will only include important updates as I do not want to be cooped up in my dorm away from everyone. March 16th, 2018. We lost Simon today. As in, we can't find him. The small camp we set up where we will be coring has a few tents we were all sitting in as he was drilling into the ice. We heard the machine stop grinding into the ice much too soon. We opened the tent and saw Simon was not on the drill. We searched everywhere in the 200 square foot camp we set up. If you didn't know, in Antarctica, all you see is white. We all wear bright orange jackets out here for this reason. There was no orange in sight beside our own jackets. We came back to the base early today. Todd doesn't seem to be himself. Update 21:30. After dinner at the base, we were starting to settle in for the night when Janine called everyone to come out into the Commons. She was looking out the front window and pointing out into the vast whiteness. I turned on my voice recorder and went over to her. Voice record 1 begin. Do you guys see that? The white thing moving out there? Janine said. It's all white out there, Janine. What are you talking about? Said Todd. No, it's a human shape. It's white, like Janine stated. Like the Ningen? Todd sprouted angrily. We all know the stories about the Ningen around here. I mean, is it so impossible? There's no one else here but us, Todd, and... I'm not listening to any of this. We lost Simon today, and you're gonna pull this shit? No thanks. I'm going to the bunks. Todd walked out of the Commons. Janine, really? The Ningen? Come on, Sarah said. Voice record 1 end. The group started disbanding at this point. I stayed with Janine and watched out the window with her. I could see something. It was just wandering around our vehicles right in front of the base, the inside lights barely illuminating the figure. It was looking inside at us and moving its hand across the vehicle in a very peculiar motion. I left Janine at this point and went back to my bunk. March 17, 2018. Todd is refusing to leave his room today. I'm not going to fight with him on this one. Sarah and Janine are working in the research wing. Kate and I are going out into the camp to pick up some more cores. Update 1400. I noticed something on the ice challenger we took to the camp. It had an S carved in the driver's side door. I informed Kate and she said to let it go. Update 2300. We found Janine setting up a camera at the window where she saw the figure the night before. She said if anything moves tonight, this camera will catch it. March 18, 2018. In the morning, Janine and I reviewed the camera as Sarah and Kate tried to get the research mission back on track by going to drill more cores. Todd was still in his room. He only came out to eat yesterday. When we approached the camera, I noticed Sarah's mouth agape. The camera was there, but what we saw was something we needed to review on the camera right away. An eye had been carved into the window glass. The camera revealed nothing. No pictures, no video. It didn't catch anything. We were dumbfounded. I'm becoming uneasy. March 26, 2018. The last 8 days went by with nothing new developing of the situation. Today changed that. Kate and Sarah have been working together a lot recently. Todd stays in his room all day now. Janine and I have become closer during this unsettling adventure. Sarah and Kate told us to go to the camp to get her research log she left down there the day prior. I think it was to get us out of the base to get some fresh air and forget some of the stuff going on. Upon arriving at the camp, we retrieved the notes and started back to the ice challenger. Janine called my name and I came over to where she was standing outside of the tents. She turned to me and held up a bright arm jacket with an M torn out of the material. We returned to the base as fast as we could and showed Sarah and Kate. Kate ripped the jacket out of Janine's hands and threw it in the trash. I turned my voice recorder on behind my back. Voice record 2, begin. Kate, what the hell is wrong with you, I asked. Mike, we are not doing this right now. Forget the jacket, forget the S, forget the I, forget the M. Now, Kate told me emphatically. The S? Janine asked. Yeah, I said. It was carved into the ice challenger door where that thing was standing. Janine ran outside into the cold without her protective clothing. Mike, we are here to do research, not to f*** around with superstitions, Kate shouted. Kate, why are you being so defensive over this? Asked Sarah. I'm responsible for Mike. He's my intern. His first mission in the field is under my guidance. How would it look if he came back and this was all he had to show for this trip? I'm trying to save both of our asses. I don't know what is going on, but it is not my job to figure it out. Voice record 2, end. Janine came back a few minutes later and stayed in my room with me for the night. Janine asked me to record our conversation so we can get everything we know in one place. Voice record 3, begin. I don't like this, Mike. I know I saw something out there. Why won't Kate do anything? Asked Janine. I've been her intern for about 4 months now, Janine. When she has a job to do, that's all she focuses on. But this, I don't know. It isn't something to just put behind you. I tried to reassure her. Kate is the most experienced here. She will do what is best to keep us safe. Okay, but how do you explain what we found? S-I-M? That thing has Simon and is toying with us. What else are we going to find with letters carved into it? Janine asked, shaking. I don't know, Janine. Let's just try to get some sleep and calm down. Voice record 3, end. Janine shut off my recorder and we tried to get some sleep that night. March 22nd, 2018. With everything that has been going on recently, Sarah has been keeping to herself too. Today she came up to Janine and me and told us that she was leaving. She said she couldn't stay here with Kate acting the way she is, along with Simon and the letters. She's taking the second ice challenger we haven't used yet to the Amundsen Scott South Pole Station to await evacuation from the continent. We said our goodbyes and she was off. We did not inform Kate until Sarah was gone. Also, Todd has stopped replying to our request to come out of his bunk. March 28, 2018. Janine and I went with Kate to the camp to collect more ice cores. Janine and I were in a tent going over notes, trying to stay focused on the research. Kate came in with a new core and told us to work on it. Each core we get is further and further out on the shelf. The readings should be similar, and so far they have been. Upon laying the core down next to the machine and starting the reading, Janine and I both had a bad feeling. The screen was only showing an O, and no different reading would show up from this core nor any of the others we tried. Janine and I both knew what was coming next. We called for Kate to come and look at the reading. She was not happy with our joke and said it had gone far enough. She got in the ice challenger and drove off without us. She left us in the cold 10 kilometers away from base. Janine and I decided to walk back to camp before it became late and got even colder. We started following the tracks from the ice challenger about 15 minutes into our walk into the snow. The snow mixed with the wind was covering the tracks. Something I should mention is that in Antarctica, there are very few landmarks to keep your bearings. Humans and animals do not walk in straight lines. We tend to curve ever so slightly. This is how people become lost in cornfields and such. Along with the lack of landmarks and the snow flurry we were experiencing, our fate was beginning to look bleak. And that's when we saw it. A white figure emerged from the snow. It was a tall figure, long arms and legs. The head was human-shaped, but the eyes and mouth were that of a dolphin. Big, empty black eyes, and a wide open mouth with very small serrated teeth. It stuck its pointy fingers up and pointed. We followed its hands with our eyes to see Kate driving the ice challenger back to camp. We had strayed so far from the path we could barely even see the deep blue vehicle in the snow. We started to run toward the camp. We ran to the ice challenger and jumped in and told Kate to gun it back to base. Kate, however, was not in the vehicle when we got there. Janine and I booked it back to camp with a GPS on the vehicle. We ran inside and locked all the doors leading outside. We ran into Todd's room and started banging on the door for him to let us in. I noticed snow coming from under his door. Janine and I started slamming into the door until finally it gave way. We found Todd's body on the ground, being covered in snow. A blood-red N was carved into his chest. March 29th, 2018. Todd's body was gone this morning. April 3rd, 2018. Janine and I have gotten the rest and small break we needed. We decided to get back to work and try to put this behind us. Help won't come. There's no point in trying. This unusual snowstorm is keeping everyone out of the air. We have decided to just continue to do our research. April 10, 2018. Today we were out the furthest we had been coring for ice. I was guiding the drill down into the ice while Janine was next to me when all of a sudden the drill dropped like it had went through the bottom of the ice. Now, the Ross ice shelf is several hundred meters thick. There is no way I would have went through to the bottom. I pulled the drill up and to my surprise, it was covered with blood. Janine and I quickly pulled the core out of the drill and saw the flesh and muscle that was in the drill. We knew it was Simon. The ninja had been leading us to find this. It had somehow gotten Simon's body deep inside the ice. Janine and I rushed back to the base for the final time. We have locked all the doors leading to the inside, as well as blocked all corridors leading out of the common building. We have enough supplies to last a few months here, but we don't think we will. Tonight, the sun sets for the winter in Antarctica. What a wonderful story.
Do you feel cold? I feel cold. I'm going to have some coffee. And we'll keep our eyes out. Hopefully we'll get an update. It would be nice if AntarcticaMike found a way to survive. But we can only hope. Of course, I hope you've enjoyed this. If you have, hit the like button and the subscribe button, because more is on the way. And as always, good night.